You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I am Clint, and we back again, running it back on Locked On Bulldogs here on Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. It's not the off season because I don't understand what your off season means. What does that mean? It's like when you're a child that grows up and realizes when you're an adult you don't have summer to do nothing, and you say, What is this? I thought everybody had summer off. No, this is SEC football. It don't stop, y'all. We just keep rolling.
It's championship celebration season. I'll accept that. If you'd like to be a part of that, I'd be happy to do that with you.
Sure.
This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He's Clint. I'm Daniel, as he said. Thanks for jumping on the audio. Subscribe to the Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast. Leave us a rating and review on the podcast listening app of your choice. We do greatly appreciate it. If you are listening on audio, head on over to the YouTube and give us a subscription there. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Happy to be seen by you. We would love to interact with you. You can drop us a comment right down below. Many people did leave us a comment, Clint, on yesterday's video, because when you talk about quarterbacks, I don't know if you know this, but when you talk about quarterbacks, Clint, people feel a lot of feelings.
Here, Daniel, I'm going to ask you a question that sums up our entire view of the quarterback situation. I'm going to ask Daniel a question, okay? And this should be your response. Georgia fan, please, I'm begging you to see this should be your response, regardless of what you feel. So I'm going to ask, Daniel, who do you want to be the quarterback of the University of Georgia?
Whoever Kirby picks.
Oh, that's easy. That should be simple enough. So if I have a fan favorite of who I think should beat out somebody else or who I hope beats out somebody else, what I should do instead is trust the process that whoever is starting has already beaten all the necessary hurdles and challenges, according to Kirby Smart, to take us back to the national championship. And my job is to accept that and shut up.
Where's JT Daniels playing college football this year? I'll answer your question with a question. Where's JT Daniels going to play college football next year?
Right now, it turns out at the H&M department store is where he's playing college football.
Okay, listen, people out here slandering. He ain't played nobody, Paul. That was literally one of the he hadn't played. Okay, well, he's in high school. So yeah, that's fine. Listen, Clint and I both big Brock Vandagriff fans. Huge. We both really like Gunnar Stockton. Yep. Clint is of the opinion that he thinks Brock Vandagriff is going to eventually beat out Gunnar Stockton and be the starting quarterback. I am of the opinion at this moment that I think the more likely scenario is that Gunnar Stockton will beat out Brock Vandagriff and be the starting quarterback for Georgia. Listen, neither Clint or I are going to care at all who starts when that happens. We just want the guy that the coaching staff picks. We want the best possible option. And that's what you should want too. But by all means, get all up in your feelings.
If Gunnar Stockton turns around and wins the starting job, Brock Vandagriff leaves, and we win SEC championship and go back into the playoff, Daniel's going to turn to me and be like, well, I told you. And I will say this. I don't care. Hang the banner up in the freaking stadium. That's all I care about.
But if you're like the people in the comments, you will say, but Gunnar Stockton didn't win the game. It was the defense. That's what he'll say. All right, forget about it.
Okay.
We're on to something else today.
We're on to Cincinnati.
And I don't want to spend, what are we on? We're at like 4.5 minutes, Clint. We got to pick this up. All right. We're talking about Oscar Delp today.
Ooh.
And we are on record. We're on record on this podcast months ago saying that this is the most exciting offensive player, not Gunnar Stockton, This is the
No.
most exciting offensive player that Georgia has signed in this 2022 class. And so it is a pleasure and an honor to be speaking about him here today. Clint, what excites you the most about this kid, Oscar Delp?
What excited me about Gunnar Stockton was that we have seen a evolution of the recruiting prowess at UGA and the philosophy of offense, handing Todd Monken weapons upon weapons to do with what he does well, which we're going to get back to that in here a little bit about Matt Luke. We're going to talk about it because I think it has giant repercussions about Monk and all that, but we'll get back to it. So what excites me is that I just watched a true freshman run Rampage. And when I say Rampage, I mean the video game that mom would leave you at with $2 in quarters and say, don't get stolen from the front of the grocery store.
You just climb that building and just smash.
He ran Rampage over the SEC. He ran Rampage through the college football playoff against the best competition. And now you're telling me I get a version 2 of him? I get T2. Arnold comes back in the second.
But he comes back. What if I told you he comes back and he stands next to himself?
Jeez. Okay, so okay, it excites me because guys, we just saw what the explosiveness this has, and now we get a clone.
That's one word when you talk about Oscar Delp. And go read the experts. We're not gurus or insiders. We know that. This podcast is for fans by fans. We like to just chat and have a good time. I don't know. Some would say, wait for it, that is the point of the podcast. That is the reason that so the thing that you're hoping that we will skip is the reason that the show exists. So I don't know what to tell you.
For fans by fans. Yeah. Fans talk this way.
Yeah, we're just here to talk like fans. But go read somebody who has spent a lot of time studying this kid, or do yourself one better. Just go watch the tape yourself. Just cut on the tape yourself. Because there's one word that elevates to the top. No matter what you read about this kid, no matter what you see about this kid, one word. And the word is speed. Clint. He has got speed that is unnatural for his size. It's not right. It's not the way that it should be.
No.
He's 6'4". He is a full 225, 230 right now.
Oh, yeah.
Started his high school career as a wide receiver and has taken on the moniker of tight end, Clint. But I think we know that in today's college football and today's football, even the term tight end is about as useful as the term mobile quarterback.
That's
right?
Exactly
we talked about this yesterday. A quarterback.
We're going to have a wide receiver that is going to be bigger than every tight end we have on this roster next year. Just so you guys know that, okay?
Yeah. So he's still a wide receiver, and the thing that you read about him is he's got route running that is second to none. And the reason that route running is so good is because he explodes off the ball and he has elite getaway speed. And I'm not talking about Jermaine Burton, send him down the sideline on a seam. Arian Smith, send him down the sideline, throw it up. Mecole Hardman, send him down the sideline, throw it up in the air. I'm talking about right down the middle. We're just right down Broadway, and all of a sudden the safety thinks he's got an angle, but Oscar Delp's already out the brownstone window, and he gone. You understand?
Did we see that? Did we see that last year where 5 defenders thought they were going to converge on Mr. Brock Bowers?
Check back with me in segment 3.
There we go. When we do player comps. Speaking of which, we're going to come back with segment 2. We might have a take on when Oscar Delp sees the field that you might disagree with full-heartedly. Full-heartedly,
I'm going to say something in the next segment that I guarantee you most people listening to this will disagree with. And I have no doubt that they'll leave it in the comments, but not as many comments as yesterday because it's not about a quarterback, so they don't really care.
It's not about a quarterback. But first, we'll learn about Built Bar. Built Bar is the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. How do we know we've tried them? They are keto approved. They are high in fiber. They are low in sugar. They are high in protein. It would be kind of weird not to be high in protein being called a protein bar. That would be, it's kind of like a podcast that says we are for fans, by fans, and don't talk like fans, Daniel. That's what it's kind of like. But this Built Bar is
And we just get on here and read the news. We just get on here, scroll Twitter, and read the news. That's what you want, I guess. Okay, cool.
It is the best tasting protein bar. They are protein bars that taste like candy bars. Again, how do we know? We've tasted them. They have amazing chocolate flavors. They have crunchy. They have texture. They are soft when you want them to be soft. They are crunchy when you want them to be crunchy. Go check out the marshmallow additive that they put into that thing. It is a fantastic piece. They got fruit flavors that are out of this world. The orange, chocolate orange is one of my favorites. German chocolate cake is another one. Daniel likes the birthday cake. We've tried them. They're delicious. BuiltBar.com. Put in the promo code LOCKEDON15 for 15% off your entire order. Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth.
Oscar Delp, 6'5", 225, out of Cumming, Georgia, Gwinnett County, north. No, is that Forsyth County? I think that's Forsyth County. West Forsyth High School, yeah, Forsyth County. You would know.
Doesn't the South begin at like Missouri? Missouri is part of the South, right?
Let's just don't. People are turning off the podcast in droves.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
All right, Oscar Delp, big time recruit. A lot of people wanted him. South Carolina thought they had him, but they did not. He's coming to Georgia. Clint,
yes, sir.
2022 season. Oscar Delp gonna get much playing time?
Daniel, right now, if you were to tell me the leading percentages of tight ends, who's gonna get the number of reps? Brock Bowers gonna get all them reps. Okay.
All the reps. He'll get reps that don't even exist. 110% of the reps he'll get.
Oscar Delp's going to get the second most reps at tight end this coming year.
And he's going to have the second most receptions for a tight end at Georgia this year.
All you Big O lovers, again, let's go on record.
We love Big O.
I love Big O. I think he's a phenomenal player. I love having him at Georgia. He is elite.
He is. However, but I think it might be. I don't want to say something that I don't really mean, or that's going to get misconstrued in a way that I don't really mean it. But I think it might be time to look at Big O as, in basketball, you have these guys, you call them role players, right?
Sure.
And it's come to be sort of a slight if you're called a role player, because it means
or the kid, the kid's a gym rat and hustles. Kid's just a gym rat and hustles.
You're like this. Well, play a little defense, spot up in the corner, shoot threes. Like that's your thing. You're not the superstar of the team. You might have some big games. I think Big O is a role player on this team, but he's not built to be a volume receiver. I just don't know that Big O is ever going to be in college. I think there's a chance in the NFL that Big O could become a dynamic monster weapon. And that could obviously happen at Georgia. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it might be true that Big O is more of a role player on this team. He comes up in big spots. He makes big catches, but he's going to have 2 or 3 catches per game. And lo and behold, when he's been healthy, Clint, what has he had? 2 or 3 catches per game. Now, he's had some games where he's had some big catches, some really big time receptions where he's had some run after the catch. You're going to see that. But he's not a volume receiver of the ball. Brock Bowers is built to be a volume receiver of the ball. And Oscar Delp, as you said earlier, as I'm going to say in the next segment, is cut from the very same cloth. And so I think it stands to reason that if he gets some time on the field, and listen, is there need at pass catcher on this team, Clint? Are there openings at pass catcher on this team? That there are. And so if Oscar Delp can get on the field, and I think he can, I think you're going to see him be a volume type weapon for Georgia. I totally agree with you. Second most targets, second most receptions for a tight end on this team.
100%. We're going to come back after this, give you our comp, and maybe it's somebody you're going to appreciate. Maybe it's not. I think you're going to appreciate it. Come back after this. But first, I want to let you about BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your sportsbook expert. Daniel and I love BetOnline.net because they're safe, they're reliable. They give you payouts quickly. You can go ahead, get that deposit in there. They are the official sponsor of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcasts. They have it all. Guys, March Madness is coming up. Get in on that action. Masters is coming up. Get in on that action. I asked who an early favorite was.
What's happening with Phil Mickelson right now? Like, Phil, there's just some things happening. Some Saudi Arabian man is trying to buy PGA Tour players. I don't know what's happening in the world, but here's what I know: the first weekend in April, the Masters is coming, and you need to jump on that. You need to
get over to BetOnline
opportunities.
.net. Get some futures in there.
Just if you're looking for an early,
there it is.
Tony Finau. I like Tony Finau.
They have every single bet, props, over-unders, futures, anything you can imagine. BetOnline.net, your sportsbook experts.
All right, Clint.
Player comps.
Here's what I want to say. Okay? I want to say he reminds me of Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
But that's not really in the spirit of the comp. You understand? Yesterday I gave out Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. Russell Wilson. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Brock Bowers is not really in. I gave out Leonard Floyd earlier. I gave out Ndamukong Suh on these comps. Okay? You understand the idea here is to look at a ceiling for a kid, like an absolute ceiling. And so I said to myself, well, Brock Bowers is not really picking a high school or a college rising sophomore is not really in the spirit of it. What I need to do is I need to go out and I need to find a young man of comparable size, comparable skill set.
If we have the same, I'm going to be so pissed.
Who has the potential to be the best of all time at his position, right? That's sort of what I'm going for in the spirit of this comp. And so the name I came around to when I said, well, I can't go any higher than this guy if I'm going to pick somebody.
Okay.
Is in fact Brock Bowers. That's who I came back to. Because listen, who am I going to pick that's better than Brock Bowers, Clint? You understand? This is literally how my mind worked. It was like, no, I got to think of somebody better. And then I was like, no, I don't think he's better than Brock Bowers. Like,
can you name a better tight end in all of college football?
No. What about a brighter NFL future? I'm sorry, you can have Darren Waller. I don't want him. I'll take Brock Bowers. It's fine. You can.
By the way, really
kid
quick,
reminds me.
All y'all awards people, can just. The awards for college football are a giant joke. It's a joke. Okay, I don't care who gets named to what award watch list.
It's like Mike Griffith writing an article. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's like the most likely to succeed in high school.
You just laugh it off.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. What the heck? What you're saying is you peaked in high school. Oh, that's cool. Great. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Brock Bowers is the comp, guys. Brock Bowers.
Okay. Brock Bowers is the comp. Is the absolute comp. If I had to give a second one. This kid's tough. I'm not saying this kid can't block. I just don't want him blocking a great deal. He's not
going to be. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Everybody's going to criticize Oscar Delp's blocking. He ain't going to be blocking all that much. Okay, he's not going to be blocking. I'll say this: he's not going to be blocking any more than Kearis Jackson is this year.
There we go.
That's
fantastic.
he's not going to be
And
doing any
by the
more
way,
blocking.
do you know who's a good blocker downfield? Kyrus Jackson. So, Oscar, you got to block
do you know
downfield,
who I
bro.
bet? Do you know who I bet's going to be a good blocker downfield
Who's
against corners and safeties? Oscar Delp.
There we
Yeah.
go. Guys, it's Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is the comp. Okay? Jimmy Graham made his little niche in the NFL as being the tight end that didn't fit the tight end mold, that was a matchup nightmare, was fast on linebackers, overpowered DBs, had great route running ability, got open, just found the kind of like a Jason Witten, if you will, of route running, but athleticism. Give me Jimmy Graham, straight line speed, explosiveness, quick in between. That's Oscar Delp, y'all. And by the way, it's because there'll be 2 Jimmy Grahams in the NFL in less than 4 years. The first one's Brock, and the second one is Oscar Delp. Whatever, it would be fantastic, actually, to make these predictions. Whatever Brock Bowers goes in the draft,
Yes.
2 years later, just try to see if we can copy it for Oscar Delp. Like, that's going to be the cut, paste, repeat, time and time again. Jimmy Graham is my comp.
I do not hate it. George is getting a dynamic weapon in this guy. And people that don't want to do any research, that don't want to do any homework, that don't want to watch anything, and want to say, and you'll hear it, they want to say Jermaine Burton transferred out. George Pickens is off to the NFL.
Okay.
Georgia doesn't have any proven talent at wide receiver.
Sure.
You just look at them and smile, nod your head, because they're not watching football these days. George is just fine at pass catcher.
Ask Todd Monken.
Just fine at pass catcher. Yeah.
Todd, who do you want to get the ball most often in a game? And Todd Monken's going to look at you with the same exact response that Daniel, like, you don't watch football, do you?
It's not.
I don't care who catches the football.
Not the way
Are
it
they
works.
being productive? That's not the way it works. Just
What if
give
I
me
look
all
at-
them weapons out there.
What if I look at Todd and say, but Todd, this quarterback is the one I like the most. Will you play him, please?
I don't think Todd is a man to strike another person, but he'd want to.
He might be. Let the record show we did not hit those 2 elderly gentlemen from Vanderbilt.
I didn't even clinch my fist, y'all. Did not even ball my fist.
That makes one of us. We will be back tomorrow. We got more to talk about here on the pod, and might even have a special guest joining us tomorrow.
We're confirmed. Come on.
Time will
Come
tell.
on.
All right.
Moon pie.
Executive producer, intern, audio engineer, legal consultant, Michael, joining us on the pod tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.